gems otherwise. So yeah, we're recording. Yeah, I'm just going to see who else wants to come in. Oh, let me just tell people to find it and just let people in. Hi, Stacey.
Hello, how are you guys doing?
All good. There's Sarah up in the top corner.
Hi,
Stacey.
nice to meet you.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Stacey's a new member of my team, International Homeopath for Autism. Hi, Lisa.
Oh,
Yeah.
hi.
And
Hello.
we've got Sarah up in the corner here as well. Lisa and Stacey. And just letting Elizabeth in, she's looking for the link. There it is. There'll be some other people looking for the link. So let me just go and dump it in the correct group as well, in case people haven't found it. The link's always in the events. So there should be an event in the events and you'll find the link there. Let me just see if there's any more messages on the top here. Who are we expecting? I'll go into the members and see. I'll just drop a message here. It's always the same Zoom link. If you just put my name, renloyd.com, it's my website. If you put a backslash and Zoom after it, you will find my Zoom room every time. Hi,
Oh,
Elizabeth.
okay.
Nice to see you.
Sorry.
No, don't worry. I'm just helping everybody else in. It's not a problem. It's in the event on the membership, but if you're new to the membership, you won't find it necessarily. Ah, here we go. Got Carol. Awesome. I'm just going to double check that there's nobody that can't get in because I'm just looking at all the different places people might message me. I don't want to drop it on HPB though, because we'll have a bunch of people come in. Hello, Carol. Nice to see you.
Yeah,
Nice
it
to
did
see
took
you.
me a while to get there. I had to poke around a bit.
Yeah, it's in the events if you go into the events, but I'm just
And no
looking,
next
I'm
time.
just thinking that people are going to be okay, let me see. Okay, let me let Lana in. Hi, Alana. As soon as she connects up, bear with me. Just want to chat to her when she gets there. Because I don't think she's in this membership. She's in one of my other memberships. I just want to let her know. Hi, babes. I think it's because you're in the other membership. You're not in the homeopathic practice building membership.
We can troubleshoot it later if you don't want to spend meeting time on
That's
it, but
fine. That's fine. So as long as you're happy to come in, because that membership's a different membership. You're welcome to come in. Yeah?
I have a receipt for homeopathic practice building subscription.
Oh, you should be all right then. We'll
So I
troubleshoot that
definitely,
later. Yeah.
yeah, we'll do it
Troubleshoot it
later.
later. That's good. I haven't seen you in there yet, so we'll go and have a look. Okay, hello everybody. I think there's a few more people, but we'll get them to watch on catch up. So we've got Sarah here, Stacey, Lisa, Elizabeth, and Carol and Alana. And how many people have seen the niching workshop that we did, the recording of the niching workshop? You just raise your hand up so I can see who's been to that one. Lisa, did you see the niching workshop? Did you watch the niching workshop?
I was in it.
You
I
were in
was
it.
there.
Awesome. So your hand will go up. So it's only Carol maybe hasn't Elizabeth.
No, I
You,
haven't.
neither
No,
of you have seen it.
I didn't have time because it's only signed up.
No, that's okay. Don't worry. Don't worry. It's not a test. I'm just checking. But if you go and have a look at it afterwards, because that's our first principle of practice building. To be found, you need to be niched. And it feels really counterintuitive for homeopaths because we're holists. And so the first battle we have with marketing is pushing back against niching, because we're holists and we're going to treat everybody. And also there's a worry around if I niche, then people, I'm going to lose all these patients who don't want menopause or they don't want this, that, and the other. Yeah. And so there's a lot of fear around losing patients as a result of niching. I know because I felt it. And But in actual fact, to get heard in a noise, you have to be saying the right word. So if you imagine you're in a room and you're saying hot flashes, this is my example of the day, and you just stand in that room and you say hot flashes, hot flashes, hot flashes. There are going to be people who are primed for hot flashes, whose ears are going to perk up. It's big noise. So or you can have a look at it in a slightly different way, which is that instead of throwing your seeds out of an aeroplane onto a car park, you're coming down and you're planting the seeds where you know people want the thing. And so really, niching is just about how we talk. People search online according to allopathic diagnoses. That's what they search for when they search for help. They don't search for a homeopath. It's really unlikely. It's very unusual for them to do that. And we are homeopaths, but we're wanting to solve their particular problems. So an advantage for us in marketing is to then narrow it down so that when somebody is looking for a particular thing, there we are with our solution. And our technique is to position ourselves with enough credibility with a solution that answers their problem. But we can't do that for all problems. We can treat all problems, but we can't position ourselves marketing wise for all problems. And so if you're trying to market for all problems, you can be spinning your wheels, doing a huge amount of work and not really get anywhere. So the first thing we do is narrow the lens right the way down. So who knows what they're niching, and just have a bun fight. Just jump in and say, if you're certain, just jump to say.
I'm
I'm gonna
struggling
do.
swapping. Oh, sorry.
Oh, we all started jumping
Work
in
it out.
then. I'm gonna do. I want to specialize in complex pediatrics, so autism, ADHD, PANS, PANDAS type cases. I have my own children who have had one with an actual diagnosis and two others that don't have the official diagnosis but have the similar problem.
Yeah.
So I've been through it on my own, and that's where I'm headed.
Awesome. So that's a lot of niches, but yes.
I'm kind of focusing on autism, I think, but
Yeah,
the
complex
others are very similar.
Complex children. So if you said I'm going to do women's issues, then you've got more than half the population. It's not a niche. If you're going to say I'm going to do children, you've got that may well be half the population, mightn't it? So there's a lot of children in the world. It's not a niche. If you say I'm going to do complex children, it's still wide. It's too wide. People are not searching complex children, natural treatment for complex children. They're not searching it. So you would say natural treatment for autism. Yes, they're searching that. Natural treatment for ADHD. They're searching for that. PANS, they're searching for that. That's what they're searching for. So straight away, you're in the right ballpark. But you can do all three of those because you're inside a team that specializes in that way. But your personal marketing should focus in one of those places a little more than spreading out wide. Saying hi to Helen in the background there. My notifications are supposed to be on Do Not Disturb, but it's not gone over to my computer, apparently. Okay, ignore that.
I didn't
Hi,
realise
Helen. Nice to see you. No
my
worries.
camera wasn't on.
Yeah, you've not missed anything as yet. We were just have you seen the niching workshop? Did you watch the niching workshop already?
No.
No. Okay, so the first thing we were talking about is actually narrowing down what you have, the way that you are found in marketing. So you're not trying to market to everybody. You're narrowing your lens. You're marketing to one small group of people so that they can find you. And the fear is that you will lose patients as a result of doing that. But you're not going to lose any word of mouth referrals. You're not going to lose them just because, I'm an autism homeopath. That's what I do. That's my niche. I have every other type of patient you can imagine, with every other type of condition come to me. And they don't say, well, I can't come to you because you specialize in autism. They just don't. It doesn't happen. But the fear is there that it will, that I will place myself out of all these other potential customers, and because I'm feeling very frightened that I haven't got enough customers and I'm going to drive them away with my niching into a small area, then I'm going to get a little bit scared that that's going to happen, and then I'll just draw myself wide open again. I'll say, oh, I'm going to go for PCOS and endometriosis as well because I've done quite well with that, and I'm going to do with teeth, and I've done this. These are all my sub niches. Oh yeah, I've done quite well with hypothyroidism and autoimmune conditions to do with the thyroid. And the next thing you know, your marketing is spread your message is no longer clear. You don't know who you're talking to. And so you bring it back, bring it right back. So you have to make a priority. Like recently, I just got rid of my teeth work altogether, got rid of it because I could feel that I was too spread out. And that hasn't stopped me getting people buying my teeth courses and booking in for teeth. I've still got people booking in for teeth and buying my teeth courses. In fact, slightly more than I had before, ironically. So that's our first thing. If I can't convince you to niche, I can't help you.
Can I just say as well,
It's
there's
quite
a fear,
uncompromising.
there's a fear of niching a bit in exactly what you said, but I don't know if anyone else is like it. I also have a fear of not getting my niche right.
Yes.
I'm putting pressure on myself on choosing the right niche, and then I'm
Yes.
spinning.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, so what you want to do now, you've seen the workshop, so take 10 deep breaths. Do that for me now. Take 10
Okay.
really deep breaths. Everybody can do it. Because this is your way to tap into your truth for any decision you ever make in life. Is to take 10 really deep breaths until you're very well oxygenated. And then you ask in your core whether it's the right decision. I got a hell yes on autism. It's just I can feel it all the way through my body. So it's really clear.
I get the words coming into my head, but I've still got a fear surrounding it. But that's something
That's
I need
okay.
to.
That's your ego. I'm going to get it wrong. Yeah. So what's your
Okay.
niche going to be?
I keep getting drawn to skin, and
Yes.
with an eczema cases keep coming to me.
Awesome.
But
Is your heart in it?
Sorry?
Is your heart in it? You love to do that work?
I do love to do that work, and that's how the second reason I discovered homeopathy. I discovered homeopathy for my skin, but for adult acne, and then it came to my daughter when she was a baby. So that's where my homeopath then helped me with my daughter. So there's that personal link with the eczema as well.
Yeah.
Just mums when you're treating their children with eczema.
So
That's
why
where I
don't
think
you go
maybe
for
the fear
adult? Why
is.
don't you go for child and adult acne or teenage and adult acne?
Yeah, because I've had quite a few cases come naturally to me, and it's that avoiding that steroid or Accutane, because I had to go on a Accutane
Yes.
once and I avoided it the second time because of homeopathy. And I'm dealing with a really interesting case, another lady at the moment with the
And
steroid
also,
withdrawal.
let me just cut you off for a second because I think you could do a lot of detoxing, steroid detoxing, Roaccutane, detoxing, etc. So maybe for you you have a bit of a fear of dealing with the mothers of children with eczema. I totally get you. I totally understand why. But my question is, why are you not then doing the skin of adults with adult acne or teenagers with acne? Teenage acne is huge. I mean,
Yeah.
can you imagine? And the great thing with skin is you've got before and after. You've got pictures, and you can just use like just a cheek or something. You don't have to show.
Yeah.
The person doesn't have to. They can just have this cheek, and I've posted pictures like that. Put them in comments, by the way. Don't stick them straight in a post. But put them. Tell somebody what's happened, and then say see comments and put your pictures in comments. And it's just like amazing how you can build a practice with skin, because skin is actually it's your outer layer. It's the most simple part of you, isn't it? In terms
Yeah, and there's such an emotional piece which I went through as well.
so
It is,
quick as
it's
well.
yeah.
It's so quick. I mean, but it's so quick. It means you're going to have to actually create a lot of patience. Whereas for me, because the work that I do is long-term work, my case is chronic, like Stacey's going to be doing. These are chronic cases. I might be seeing somebody for a couple of years. So, I opened my waiting list 2021 and I got 120 people come on my list in 1 week. In 1 week. And I
Wow.
just looked at that. And it wasn't unusual. If I did it now, it would happen. If I open my waiting list now, that would happen. And it's only because I have made it really clear the outcomes. So every single good outcome, I just posted one on my, if you have a look at my Facebook page, International Homeopath, Ren Lloyd International Homeopath, you'll see I just posted a little thing that came in the email this morning. I asked permission and just posted that. And then I posted that on my my own page. So I've got a page, Ren Lloyd International Homeopath, which is my business page on Facebook. And then I shared it into the Effective Autism Treatment group. And then I dropped a link in the comments to ask for a referral to my team. So, later today, hopefully there'll be some referrals that I can send to my team, because I can't see anybody. I'm too busy at all times. But 120 people, I can't see the 120 people in 5 to 10 years, possibly. It's going to take me a really long time. But you would need to generate quite a lot of custom. But the thing that's going to really generate the custom for you with skin cases is word of mouth, referral. You won't just, like, if you solve somebody's kid's skin problem, they're going to be like, not only are they're not going to just send you the other teenagers they know with acne. That's not what they're going to do. They're going to send you everybody. Everybody. So, you're going to get absolutely amazing at acne. Amazing. You're going to know the remedies inside out. You'll be able to do it like this because you've really focused in on that area. But you're also going to get amazing at everything else because you're going to be seeing more patients. If you're successful at something, you will get a lot more patients word of mouth. And eventually you get to the point where you get to that tipping point where, I wouldn't even experiment with it. But if I did open my waiting list at this point and say, okay, I'm making a waiting list, I just can't have one. I can't have a waiting list. I just say, I'm offering referrals to my team. That's it. But if I did, it would just be like, phoomp. And it's only because of social proof. That's all it is. It's social proof. And so what we're going to be trying to build here is social proof. So can you think about some ways in which you might build social proof? And then you can put yellow hands up. It was a bit too much of a bum fight last time. And we'll go back. We'll come and pick up people's niches in a minute.
What do you mean by social proof?
Oh, good question. So what do you think I mean by social proof? Just take a stab at it. What do you think? Social proof.
Putting evidence on your Facebook page of what you've achieved.
Yep. Perfect. Social proof. Yeah. Yeah. Who's scared of doing that? Yeah. Why are you scared? Helen, tell me why you're scared.
I'm scared because I am damn sure I had someone come to me as like a reporter, a spoof.
I had one of those. I'm in the
And
Daily Mail.
she came across as this chiropractor from Leeds, and she sent me a Zoom link. I took the day off work to have this Zoom link because she was going to send me patients via a chiropractic, referrals.
Yeah.
And then in the background, she kept looking like that. She's looking to someone else, and she kept saying about what do you think about the COVID vaccines, and what do you think about? And she just kept on going down that route. And I just went, oh, well, I'm sure a bowel nursery would help. Oh, I'm sure if you sort of improved gut health and the microbiome. I thought, I ain't saying nothing.
Yeah, very wise.
But you could, and then she kept looking as if to someone else, what am I else going to say to ask her?
What do you think would have happened?
I don't know.
Okay, so shall I tell you
I'm
what
with the
happened?
Society of Homeopaths. So would I have had a wrist slap?
You might have done, but you can always go with hint if you get your wrist slapped at the society. So this did happen to me, but it wasn't over the COVID vaccine. It was over homeoprophylaxis. So, like anti-vax, proposing other ways of immunizing or educating the immune system, etc. Had a reporter come to me for a homeoprophylaxis program, which I provided her. Yeah. And so what happened is there was an article in the Daily Mail and I got busier. That's what happened. That's all that happened.
And did you have to move from the Society of Homeopaths?
I've never been with the Society of Homeopaths because they wouldn't like the way I practice. So I've never been with them.
This is it.
Yeah, the only one I've ever been with, I don't register myself personally because I'm a homeschooler for about 20 years. I was fighting registration because it's our right to educate our child. It's our duty. It's not the school system's duty. I don't need to be registered. I'm assumed guilty until proven, I'm assumed innocent until proven guilty. And I campaigned on this for my whole county. Okay, so I'm not somebody that steps easily into registration processes unless I have to. And so I'm not registered, but I am insured because, I took out my insurance, but I'm not registered. But if I was going to register, I'd register with Hint because they do really protect your freedom to practice. And the society haven't had a great record on that. There's certain things you're not allowed to talk about, etc. I just wouldn't want to be restrained in that way. And so no, I mean, I got in the newspaper. I was just in the newspaper. How long is it going to be remembered for? Not long. Actually, she was grudgingly pleasant about me because I was really pleasant. So she she was grudgingly pleasant, and nothing else happened except that people saw it and heard about it, and they were like, "Oh my goodness, what did they do to you?" etc. And then I got a lot of advertising, free advertising, and I got busy, and it did bother me at the time. It probably wouldn't bother me much now because it happened. Nothing really happened. So if you put your social proof on, my fear is people, this is my biggest fear, people are going to think I'm lying. Skeptics are going to, oh, actually, when I first started practicing, I got really hammered by skeptics as well, because I went onto Twitter and I put a post on about them using homeopathy in ICU. It was Calibic, actually. It was a really good study that they did, and I put that study on the Twitter. And that was a very convincing study. I know it must have been a very convincing post that I'd written, because then I got the farmer Twitter welcome wagon. And then I got so many trolls all at once. It was just like a big avalanche of trolls. And I just started into practice. I'm not even sure I was qualified at this point. But I got trolled, like absolutely trolled. And my kids said to me, "Oh, Mum, it's just like on Minecraft, where when somebody comes and burns your house down, all the VIPs will come out and help you rebuild, and you'll end up with a better house." And that's what my kids said to me. And I was like, "Oh, well, that's interesting." Next thing that happened was all the people who protect homeopathy on Twitter at that time, 2015, came out. They gave me long lists of who to block. And then they just reposted every single thing I posted. So do we want to do social proof? Yeah, we want to do social proof. Am I a liar? No, I'm not a liar. Do I feel like a liar? Yes, I always feel like a liar. It's one of my patterns. It's one of my ego things. You're going to be accused of being disingenuous. I hold that in shadow, really strongly. I've got to work very hard for people to trust me all the time. It's something I work incredibly hard at, because I was not trusted as a child, so it's been pushed into shadow. I must try very hard to be trusted. And so for me, the big part of 3 or 4 or 5 year old ego that comes up when I want to say that I've done this thing is, you must be lying. People are going to think you're lying. Am I lying? And so what I want to do is I want to go inside my shell and hide again. I want to go inside my shell, because people will think I can't teach practice building. They think I can't cure autism. This is autism we're talking about. You can't cure autism. You can't treat autistic children and make any headway with that. You can't do that. You must be a liar. You're a quack. You're a homeopath. Therefore, you're a quack. My husband is a scientist. He was skeptical for 30 years. It's all there to teach me to step into my power in this place where I feel powerless. And whenever you try to go for something, you try to be big and brave, your ego is going to try and keep you safe. So your ego is keeping you really safe right now, isn't it, Helen? It's keeping you really safe. You're not going to put any social proof on you. Does that make sense? Yeah. So what would you like to do if you didn't feel threatened? What would you like to do?
Myself, yeah. I'm a teacher, and it's horrendous because I've been teaching for 30 years.
Yeah.
And so I saw what they were like in 1992, and I see what they're like now.
The children.
Over-medicated
Yeah, it's
children.
shocking, isn't it? It's
Yes,
shocking.
yes. Get them
So
on
what do you want to
wrestling.
do for them? What do you want to do for these kids?
Well, my daughter's had chronic fatigue,
Yeah.
and I've detoxed her vaccines very, very slowly. It's taken 2 years
Yeah.
because she was so ill. When I look at one of the posts that they put out from about a lawsuit about the HPV vaccine. That's how
Yeah.
my daughter was. And I now look back and think, my God, she nearly died. She
Yes.
had an irregular heartbeat
Yeah.
and then developed chronic fatigue and
Yeah.
slept 20 hours a day. And people
Was this
said,
HPV, the HPV vaccine after the vaccine? Holy Moses. Yeah.
and so then people could say, oh, well, homeopathy's not working. I'm like, it is working. It's just she is so ill.
She's so sick. She's got a long way to come. Yeah.
So we
Yeah.
did the liver support, chelidonium, all the vaccines. We did the poly vaccines, then individual vaccine because it was. Then we did the metals. Then we've done the hydrocortisone. We're now finally to back at age 18 months DTaP.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're at DTaP 10M
Yeah.
slowly because she gets. And she's like told me yesterday, I have diarrhea and sickness. And I'm like, yeah, yippee,
Yes.
this might
Yeah.
be the last one.
Yeah.
Yippee,
You've
this is
got
a
some
good
good
sign.
discharges.
Every time, yeah, it shows you exactly the way
So,
to go.
so would you niche HPV vaccine injury?
Yeah, dare I put it on my
Yeah.
website?
Yes.
What do I put? What do I dare put?
So you could put, I work to support people who have been injured by the HPV vaccine. And that's all you ever need to write. I work to support children who actually I work to support autistic children. That's the correct term. I work to support children with pandas, other autoimmune disorders. I work to support.
No, I think she did have that.
Yeah,
Pans and
yeah.
pandas is when your blood pools in your ankles and you
No, that's POTS. POTS.
pots.
Yeah,
That's what
POTS. Yeah.
that is what she did
Postural
have.
orthopedic
So
tachycardia.
when she stood up, her heart rate
Yeah.
through the roof.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
that's POTS.
That's POTS. And that
And I have had
is common. I see that commonly after HPV, so commonly that I know children like that. And I don't know that many teenagers, but I know people who've had that
yes.
problem.
Well, and
And
then
it's
when
come on
one
at
of my
that age. Mm.
one of my case studies, she was POTS and she would tremor.
Yeah.
She was
There's a
midwife.
homeopath, Paula Webb.
Yeah.
She teaches out of a few of the schools now. She specialized in POTS. She was one of my homeopathic practice building students back in 2018, and that's her niche. She specializes in POTS. So if you're going to specialize in HPV vaccine injury, and you're going to end up specializing in POTS, aren't you, as
Yeah.
well? That's going to be one of the things. So you would say, I support people it's really easy to say, I support people with POTS. You know, and if most people with HPV vaccine injury have POTS and they
Yeah.
don't
Then
even know
they
it's
will
to
be
do with the
ones.
vaccine, that's your door. And that's a door that's acceptable to the school, the Society of Homeopaths as well. So you could actually niche
So I
POTS.
can put that on my Instagram posts and my Facebook
Yes.
posts and
Yeah,
my
yeah.
website.
Yep. Yep.
Right.
So what you're
Without
aiming for is
without the trolls.
No, you can get trolled. The more you get trolled, you get the prize. We'll have a trolling prize. We used to do this back when Alan and I taught the HPB group. We had 3 intakes, I think, of that course, and we used to have a prize for who could get trolled on Twitter. I mean, Twitter doesn't exist anymore, but if you get trolled, it's because you are communicating effectively.
Yes, so it's hit a nerve like that lady rang me about the COVID jabs.
Yeah.
It's hit a nerve, hasn't it? And you're part of in their radar.
Yes, you are. Yeah, that's right. But what it is you could say if your marketing is ineffective, they're not going to waste time with you. So we used to have a competition. Could you get trolled? They'd be in there trying to get trolled. But you've got to really communicate in a way that's really convincing. And when you communicate in that way, that's when the trolls will come. Yeah. So we used to have that as a competition. Whoever got trolled would be just like, yes, I got the prize. Because then you're just, why be fearful? What can they actually do to you? I mean, I've had lots of things done to me. I got reported to PayPal for operating without a medical license. I got reported to the medical research bods who oversee all the medical research in the UK for doing an illegal medical research. And I was just like, I'm not doing any medical research. And they were like, oh, okay. I've had
But
like the ASA, the Advertising Standards Agency, and Alan Freestone went through that for like 18 months. He fought trading standards, and Hint backed him up, and he won. He won. So therefore, it was hard on him, but he was going to go up against them. He's a belligerent edgelord, which is thankfully for us, he won that case. And so it was established already, but hint will stand for you in those cases, even if you are not one of their registered members.
I mean, it does say on my daughter's medical records, unexplained symptoms since HPV.
Yes.
So I have actually got
Yeah,
clarification of the cause.
so we've narrowed your niche down, haven't we? But not to HPV vaccine necessarily, but to one of the conditions that people will, because they don't even know it's
They
caused by
don't
vaccine.
realise that that's
No,
the reason.
but POTS, and it can be vaccines, or I've got a patient with it recently. She's not vaccinated, so it's not HPV vaccine, but it came on for her with Epstein-Barr. Epstein-Barr is another big cause, and you'll find it in the same age group because Epstein-Barr is quite common in that age group. They call it the kissing disease and stuff, don't they? So you've got Epstein-Barr and HPV vaccine. You've got a number of different things. So you've actually got one niche, which is POTS,
Yeah,
but multiple causes. And,
right.
and the great thing about niching is that you get to know a lot about that particular problem. So you become an expert. You specialize. And we don't specialize as homeopaths, we're holistic, aren't we? But in actual fact, if you've got to know everything about some of these very complex disorders in order to treat these things, because it's constitutional classical homeopathy works, but in some cases it doesn't quite. There's maintaining causes, and you would know therefore what the maintaining causes. Maybe you give a constitutional remedy, but this person needs an HPV vaccine, clear.
Oh, I've seen it in action.
Yes.
I've
Yeah,
given her 30, 200, 1M, 10M of a constitutional. I've
yeah,
used kinesiology
yeah,
and it's not working. And
yeah.
then I give her the vaccine and it works.
Yes,
Or I
that's
give her
right.
the
So you can
para
work classically. You can work classically, but in an area like I work in, autism, you really want to specialize because also the parents in this community that I work in expect you to know the functional medicine and the biomed side of things to some extent. They expect you to be able to interpret the tests that they usually come with, like the organic acids test and the hair minerals analysis test. And you kind of need those things because the area I work in is so complex because they've got many, many obstructing layers. They've got a lot of metals, they've got a lot of mold. These are susceptible people who can't clear metals and biotoxins from the body. And so you can give them classical homeopathy until the cows come home. They'll make some movement, but generally they will relapse. And you won't get the kind of movement that you get by specializing, understanding the area. So that's another plus point for me for niching is that you get to sort of understand your area really well. This makes your life easier as a homeopath. Otherwise, you've got to be a jack of all trades effectively because a lot of disease that we have nowadays has an obstruction, a maintaining cause. And you've got to know enough about that to some extent. So social proof, let somebody else want to tell me what their niche is. Let's come to that.
I'll go. We worked on it a little bit on the meeting recently.
Yep.
But what feels right and true for me is trauma recovery
Yep.
leading into self-actualization for people. But
Yep.
I'm wondering, because it's not a specific condition that is more like Googleable.
Yeah, PTSD
Yeah,
or CPTSD. Which one would
I would say more even in the realm of
complex?
CPTSD.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm wondering,
People will tell you you can't. I actually was speaking quite a lot about homeopathy for CPTSD, and I had a homeopath come to me who was not happy about me saying that you could impact on complex PTSD. You can, and also there is more evidence nowadays that you can make inroads on complex PTSD. You can, and I think trauma is a very, very big, wide. It's not a niche as yet. Most people have some trauma.
That's what my thought was. So I'm wondering if I want to go even deeper,
Yeah. Which age
or
group?
even more narrow and say like the CPTSD that arises from being neurodivergent in society, because I think that that is a key piece, and I'm
Maybe. I
extremely
think that's
knowledgeable about
actually
that.
gone wider.
Really?
Yeah. I think
Okay.
it's suddenly gone wider or
Yeah.
more vague or less Googleable.
Yeah.
Do you see? You get the feeling it kind of became foggier.
Yes. And it's one of those things like you were saying with the HPV and POTS, that's an underlying, I will say a lot of the clients I've ended up working with just naturally are attracted to my practice are people that I help with trauma, and part of their underlying stuff is neurodivergence. But
Yeah, that's
like,
right. But how's about if you so I'm thinking about how you could niche it in a way that the public would understand what you're doing.
right,
I was wondering
right.
about bullying because you know how people who are neurodivergent suffer a lot more from bullying. You could
Yeah.
have like school bullying, workplace bullying. You could have bullying trauma. So you could actually sort of like do homeopathic treatment for bullying, trauma after bullying, or something like that. And then you've got a clear thing that somebody might be searching for. I still feel like it wants to be narrowed a bit more. Yeah. So let's see, Carol, have you got an idea of a niche you would like to work in, or you were already well niched?
Oh no, I'm not well niched at all. I'm still studying, so I'm nowhere near niched or whatever. However, for personal reasons, my area of interest is depression.
Depression.
To
Okay, that's a
support
really clear area of
to
interest.
support people who suffer from depression and other mental health issues. But that would be
You don't need to go out because you could come in because you said and other mental health issues. That will just happen
yeah.
anyway.
And yes, I mean I
Pull
wouldn't
it
say
back
that
in.
either.
Yeah.
No,
Okay,
absolutely.
so
I
now
wouldn't.
niche it more tightly. Take the niche even tighter. So you got depression. How many people in the country suffer from depression? 1 in 10 so you're still at 1 in 10 of the human race. So bring your niche in tighter. How would you do that? You do it by gender, do it by age. There's lots of different ways.
Right.
So which group of people, who's your ideal client?
Adults at this
Adults?
stage. Yeah.
Adults, do you want to, if you're talking to adults with depression,
Mm-mm-mm.
then what kind of tone of voice are you going to use? Because you're going to use a different tone of voice for men and women. And so bring it in even narrower, narrow it in a bit more.
It would be more for women. As to an age group, I'm not sure I want to be that tight.
Menopause, postnatal, you've got to come in. You've got to come in because
Right.
otherwise you're talking to, I'm proposing, I'm
Right.
talking
Okay.
in a voice.
But
If you imagine that I'm talking in a voice to somebody with depression, am I talking to a 30-year-old woman with a newborn baby? Am I talking to a 60-year-old woman? Am I talking to somebody who's just gone through, a divorce? Am I talking to somebody who lost their parents, or who am I talking to? Because I can't talk with the same voice to each of those people, so I need to narrow down.
um,
Who's it going to resonate with? Who do you see in your mind?
people, it's actually depression because of grief.
Whom? Okay.
People who've lost a loved one, somebody who's
Yes.
affected by grief.
Yes.
So, but
So you see,
that then can, yeah, I see what you're saying, but then that covers, quite a wide
you
variety
could
of
do,
people
but
anyway.
grief. Okay, so who have they lost? Who's this person lost? Imagine yourself a client, the person you really want to help, the person you really want to work. Have they lost a baby? Has the baby died? Did they have multiple miscarriages? Is this somebody who's lost a husband? What's happened? Who are we talking to? Because we need to talk with one voice. And those would be different voices, wouldn't they? You would approach those people in different ways. So narrow down a bit further. What's happened to this person, your ideal
Then
client?
women who've lost a baby.
Women who've lost a baby, is that where your heart is?
I'm gonna need to reflect on that
Yeah,
truly, because
yeah.
I'm not feeling it fully just now.
Yes.
So I'm gonna take time
And 10
to reflect
breaths.
on that. Yes, but I won't necessarily take.
Yeah,
I want to recollect and have a
definitely.
proper feel of where
Yes.
I'm at with it.
And
So
when you're feeling, if you feel without breathing first, you will be thinking.
no, fair enough. I understand the 10 breath,
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
will do that. But it's part
I'm
of
not
who I
asking you to
am.
do it now.
No,
Yes.
that's good, because I
Yeah.
wasn't going to.
No, that's fine. I'm not asking you to do it now. But when you do think about it, feel about it rather than think about it, because this is where the answers are going to come from. Yeah. But just try narrowing it down until you've got this person that you can speak in one tone of voice. For quite a long time, I was trying to speak to two groups of people who want homeopathy. Yeah, they want homeopathy courses specifically. And my courses are for people who are not homeopaths and the people that are homeopaths. But how do I speak to these two people without feeling like, how do I have this tone that meets them both? Because these are very different groups of people. And so I can't do that. And what happens is my voice becomes like confused. I don't know how to address this person because I don't know whether I'm talking to the homeopath or the non-homeopath. And that's an important difference between them because I'm going to talk in different ways. And so, once you can see this demonstration of narrow down, and your marketing isn't going to be effective if you're talking to everybody and it doesn't give a clear message. So what we do is we've got to find that person we're talking to or the little group of people we're talking to that we can talk in one voice to them. And then our message becomes really clear. We become clear about what we're offering and what our mission is. And we speak in that one voice, that one tone of voice. And then we do that repeatedly in a number of places. And we bring in social proof for those people. I'm sending in everybody to sleep in here.
No.
Everyone's yawning. Carry on yawning. It's good for you. Yes. So that's that's niching and social proof. We're just going to go out and say what we can do and what has happened. So who's had some good results? Excellent. Elizabeth, do you want to tell us what your niche is and whether your results were in your good results were in your
Well,
niche?
so I did the course in 2018, and since then, I was really busy. Then I decided to study nutrition for 2 years, and it was much harder than I thought it was. So my practice dwindled, and now what I'm looking, apart from the fact I can't talk, looking for other people who want to do this at the same time. So that's why I'm back here. But it took me to remember how I was struggling about, like I don't like routine. I don't like all these kind of things. And I found
I
it
don't
really
like these
difficult
constrictions.
to narrow down. And I ended up doing endometriosis, which I actually really, really enjoyed. However, I've practiced in Sweden, and most people with endometriosis here don't work. So there was like, they didn't have any money to pay for it. So I decided a long time
Why?
ago,
That doesn't make sense. Why would they not work?
because they're in pain and because we sign people off work quite well, not as easily as we did before, but they're not working because
Okay. There's
and quite
very many levels of endometriosis, though, isn't there?
yeah. But no, but I did treat a lot of people. But
Yeah.
what Sally says is so true. I've
Yeah.
actually ended up treating more other people than people with endometriosis. So
Yeah.
I treat a lot of people with menopause, going through menopause. So I decided a long time ago I was going to change, but then I didn't get around to doing all the marketing and changing my website and all that. So
Yeah.
that's why I'm here wanting to do this.
Awesome. So what are you going to niche now? Menopause?
Menopause, yeah.
Menopause. Okay.
Menopause. So in Sweden, I'm now kind of known for doing hormonal. So a lot of people contact me, I don't have endometriosis, but I have this. Is that fine? So first I was thinking I was just going to do hormonal because that's what I'm known for kind of pre-puberty to post. But now I'm listening to you. I think I'm just going to narrow down
Yeah.
because it's going to be so much easier to do the marketing. This is what
Yeah.
I'm doing.
To talk to people. It's going to be
Yeah.
much easier.
Yeah, and I'm actually doing one of the things that you taught us in that other doing the study. So I've got 5 people on my menopause study.
Awesome. So one of the things that we do to gain social proof, if you haven't got some already, is you lean into your niche and you offer a study. And that might be that you're not even charging people, or you're charging them just for remedies, or and you limit the number of appointments you're going to have with them, and you tell them very clearly what the purpose of this is, that you want to gain experience, but you also want good testimonials so you can grow your practice in this particular specialism. And so you're very direct. They know exactly what they're helping you with and you're helping them with. And then you collect your testimonials and you use them as social proof. And so if you don't have any social proof yet in your niche, then that's one of the things you can do. And the places you can do that, you go into like Facebook support groups for people with the condition you're niching. And you can say, okay, I am specializing in this area as a homeopath, and I would like to offer free treatment to 5 people, 10 people, whatever. And we can go deeper into how we do this. But that's what I did early on, when I sort of sub-niched in hypothyroidism. And I built a practice inside that as well. So I already had a bit of a practice, and then I built my practice there as well. And it wasn't a great idea to be in 2 niches. And I've come all the way back to autism, and I've really focused in there. But I did sort of like just do a study and build another niche quite quickly. And these are like gold bars. These testimonies are like gold bars. If you end up with like 5, 6, or 7 testimonies in Hashimoto's, then you really are, you're an expert. You're a specialist by that point. You really are sort of like successfully treating this condition. And so you can say, I successfully treat this condition. And here's the social proof. Here's the testimonials. So once you know if you get testimonials for lots of different things, you're not going to have the same impact. If you get lots of testimonials for one particular thing, people are like, this is a specialist. This is somebody who really knows what they're doing. They've not just proven it once that they can do it, they've proven it 5, 6, 7, 8 times. And here's 7 or 8 people saying this person can do this thing. You see how much more powerful that is when you're niched. Yeah. And we're only talking about building a practice. Once your practice is going, you're going to have everybody's auntie, everybody's family members, and your practice isn't any longer going to be mainly POTS, because you'll have POTS and you'll have other autoimmune conditions, and you'll have, like everything that everybody's got. Okay, got 10 minutes. Somebody's got to leave. It's Sarah, isn't it?
Yeah, I've actually got to leave.
Yeah, that's fine.
Oh my gosh, you just reminded me I've got a school run. Completely forgot.
Yeah, that's fine. Anybody who needs to dip out at this point, that is absolutely fine.
Okay.
Because what we'll do is we'll carry on, and you can catch the last 10 minutes on the recording. Yeah.
Super. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
Thank you.
pleasure. See you soon.
Bye-bye.
Be active in the group. Be active in the group. Yeah.
Oh, I will do.
And everything. Yeah. We're going to build the energy in there, so you'll get lots from being in there. Okay.
Brilliant. Thank you. Bye all. Speak to you soon.
Pleasure. Nice to meet you, Sarah. Okay. So who's not said their niche so far? I think Lisa. Yeah.
Hey.
Hello. I know where you're going probably.
Yeah, autism. But I'm thinking even pinning it down to PDA because my son's got that. So that's really,
yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we need a PDA specialist. We've not got one in the team yet. So
there we go. Well, I live it every day. So
yeah. Yes, I live with it every day. And I have a child with it too. It's like it's an interesting.
My husband says he sees it in me now. Actually, he said you're demand avoidant too.
yeah, it's a nervous system. It's a nervous system thing, really. It's the people who prioritize freedom over everything, or autonomy over everything, and it's a nervous system. It's a nervous system tendency, and often comes with trauma. Yeah, and I have complex PTSD, so that's my. I'm largely recovered. I do believe you can recover because I'm largely recovered. Yeah, then that's awesome. And there's a funny situation when you come into the International Homeopaths for Autism. When you come in and you're niched, then you have to come out. You have to kind of niche again inside to make yourself stand out from the other 18 people that are in there doing autism. So you sort of niche and then you niche again. So if anybody wants to look at my team page, let me just put it in chat. Where's the chat gone? Where is it? Must be over here. No, I can't see where my chat is. There it is. It's right here. I'm just going to drop the link in, and then you can just have a look and see. If you go into internationalhomeopathsforautism.com, just click the link and then go down the page and go into the team directory. And if you just scan down, in fact, don't worry with that. What I'll do is I'll share it. I'll share my screen, and that will be the best way to do it, because then everybody can see what I'm trying to show you on the recording. Let's just find somewhere to put. Let's do it in here. The Chrome doesn't like my text shortcuts. There you go. And we'll just bring that out a little bit so you can see. So here's my team website. And inside the team directory, you'll see me. I cover quite a lot, but you see the first thing that jumps out is mold. So, you know, I'm an autism specialist, but I specialize particularly within autism in mold and mast cell activation, which is something to do with mold. Yeah. And then here's Chan, and she specializes particularly in pandas. This is her big area. So she does all of this, but she specializes particularly in pandas. And then you've got Kate, and she tends towards the ADHD side of things, I think, but she's not got it there. So yeah, she's got ASD, pandas, homeopathic detox therapy jumps out. Paula, pandas, sorry, Sue is very much pandas. And the thing that's special about Joanne is Lyme disease. Now you see something that's not come into the team before. So one of the things that we see a lot for people with autism and pandas is Lyme disease. So although she is an autism specialist inside International Homeopaths for Autism, she is also specializing somewhat in Lyme disease within that. So just like Helen was saying about POTS, but part of it would be POTS due to the HPV vaccine, yeah. Or EBV would be another one. So Satish specializes in autism, but he is a functional medicine doctor as well. So he has, this is what makes him stand out inside our team. And then Lisa, she stands out because she does Reiki and crystal practice. This is another way that she stands out. But also she's got a lot in there. This is too much probably, but I'll let her have that. So Barbara is really good. She's previously a midwife. She does autism, but she does a lot to do with pregnancy and birth. And a lot of people in that area have got autistic children. They want to know how to prevent that in future, etc. Then that's somebody I would send them to her. Isabella's not terribly well standing out here, but nutrition, supplements and nutrition, gut health, maybe that's where she stands out quite a lot. So Fardusa, also if we go through to their page, it's sometimes easier because it says more clearly down here. There you go. ADHD, related neurological issues, focus. That's what she's got. So you see each person is standing out, not as much as I'd like them to, but they are starting to do that a little bit. Because they're now specializing inside a team that all does the same niche. They've got to make themselves jump out a bit more. I'm a little dissatisfied by the way they're jumping out, but I kind of know them well enough to, they can also specialize by language and geographical region. So inside the team, I refer to them according to the geographical region, the language they work in, etc. And Anandita has got tissue salts. She's a tissue salts bark flowers. So she's making herself stand out a bit there because we all do something a bit similar. And Tay stands out because she's also a nutritional therapist. So she's her time zone's interesting as well. So Julie's got the same time zone, and she's got like psychology. She's a psychologist previously in her life. So she deals with a lot of the sort of kind of psychological side of things and advising around special needs education. And Zoe, she's got some interesting things like gemotherapy in there, which people are often looking for. And her time zone's pretty good. And here's comes Stacey coming in, trauma-informed care. So you would see Stacey's going to start taking on this. Stacey's here with us. She's going to start, oh, she might have gone for a school run, possibly. I don't see her quite, but she might be there. Trauma-informed care, etc. So once you're niched, you also sometimes have to come out and come out of your niche, if you like, and move into, let me just get rid of this. Go away. Awesome. So you niche in, and then sometimes if you get in with a group of people who do the same thing, then you have to differentiate yourself. So you niche again. So autism's a really big group. We know it's like 1 in 36 children. So now we're getting to the point where this is barely a niche if 1 in 36 children have autism. So we're needing to narrow in. Yeah. Okay, let me just say 4 minutes worth more things on social proof. So what we'll do is let's set a task. Find me a piece of social proof. It doesn't have to be in your niche, and just present it in the membership. So just post a piece of social proof in the membership in any way, what form you want to. And we'll talk mostly about social proof this month in the membership. You can talk about anything else as well, but that's your task. Lots of social proof. Let's look at it. And I'll do some examples of mine because I've got some that works really ridiculously well, and it's very simple. Go ahead, Elizabeth.
Our own social proof or just somebody else's?
Yours.
Mine. Okay.
Yeah, let's have yours. Because because what you're doing there is, you know how Helen was feeling a bit anxious about posting her social proof, and it's not unusual. I feel anxious about it. I still feel anxious about it sometimes. You know, let's post our own. So any
I used to
testimonials
feel
you've got.
Sorry, I used to feel really anxious about it. I don't anymore. And I'm finding it's when I do these social proof things that I get a lot of traction on my Facebook and people start booking in.
I'll drop some into the group that I've got that's the most effective, most simple thing I do. It's so simple I can do it between appointments, to the point that it's so effective at bringing people in that I don't do it because I was hiding. Go ahead, Carol.
I'm going to be a bit stunned by this because I don't have enough experience or clients to have social proof at all yet.
Have you experienced any changes in any of the people you've worked with?
Yes, but you
Awesome.
know, not with somebody writing to me or whatever.
Okay. So what happened? Think of the last time somebody responded to a remedy and what improved.
Okay.
Just tell me what improved. Somebody responded to a remedy.
Basically, a teenager who received a host of vaccinations, obviously as you do, and started developing eczema and then breathing restriction, hypoexertion, and respiratory issues, cold, diarrhea, all the likes. And I didn't do a detox, but I did use silica 30, sort of once a week, and it gave a very good result. The eczema stopped.
What was the result?
The eczema stopped altogether, or the itching and that he had behind the knee. The breathing restrictions upon exertion is waning as well. The mother was saying that it's improved some more, and the diarrhea resolved by itself before I ever met him. So and that's it really.
So if you look in the chat, I've just put a little sound bite. So if I was in an appointment and I heard that, I would say the age and gender and the diagnosis. So 16-year-old boy with eczema and respiratory issues after medications. And then I might put like a carrot or some symbol that represents a vaccine that everybody knows. And then I would put silica and the potency potentially. Eczema went 100% respiratory improving. And that is the most effective social proof that I use. And I do it between consultations, right in between 2 consultations. So I will actually go onto Facebook on my phone. And if you go onto Facebook, straight away, what happens is you can have a little colorful panel. Yeah. You just go into Facebook. We go to post. Here I am doing it now. And so you would just you would end up with the background color. It comes up with a little background
Oh,
color.
yeah, I've used
Yeah,
that
yeah.
before for a
And so
different
just
person.
16-year-old boy with eczema and respiratory issues after medications, little carrot, because then we know what the medications were. And then I usually change the line. I put silica, and then I change the line and I say eczema better, 100%, respiratory improving. And boom, I post it with a colourful background. And that is the most effective social proof post I ever make. They're ridiculously effective. I get so many from that. Not, and and it may just be like it could be an ear infection thing. It's just part of the case. It's not even the whole case. We didn't even mention the diarrhea. We didn't mention anything else. We just mentioned a few things. And so what I'll do is I'll dump a bunch of these as screenshots into the group. You'll be able to see them. They're so simple. I just do them in between appointments. And they work. They're the most effective social proof I've ever come across. And one of the reasons being is when you post something, you want people to respond to it. And if you post a celebration like this, people will respond because culturally we respond with a like a press of a heart or a thumbs up or something. We will respond to something that's celebrating because we will celebrate with people. And so this is the most effective thing. Keep it really simple. That's about as much words as I put on any one of those panels. And luckily it restricts you, but that is the absolute best. So I got to run now because I got a client coming in. She's actually knocking the door.
Do you just use Facebook or
I just use Facebook, but a lot of what I post on Facebook goes to Instagram because I have it automatically set up.
Yeah, I have Instagram that goes
Yeah,
automatically.
yeah. Last question, Elizabeth. You can
Do
ask
you
me.
have a list of the dates when these things are going to happen so we can put them in the diary?
I
Or
shall make that today because I haven't put them in yet. So I'll make that today.
perfect.
If you go into the membership and look for events, you'll find it there and I shall put them in.
Lovely. I
Next
don't need
month's
it
going to
today,
be,
but I just
yeah, next
putting
month's going to
it.
be interesting because I'm in Australia. So I'll probably do it in Australian time, which might mean that some people will need to look at the recording because it might be an social time.
Okay.
Okay.
And then,
Thank you
I'll
very
see
much.
you in the membership.
So happy I
Lots of love.
joined.
Thank
Yes,
you.
me too. I'm really happy you've
Bye.
joined.
Thank you.
Awesome. See you soon.
Bye. See you.
bye. Thank you.